Hey guys, Rebecca back with another video. I've got a somber topic today. Honestly, it's a little bit sickening and I kind of wish I had something more than a green smoothie to get me through this one. I'm fixing to leave for work, but I figured I would take advantage of the daylight while I still have it. And since I have a lot of numbers here to look at, I'm going to shoot this before I actually get going on the road. I wanted to talk to you today about my student loans and just the sickening truth behind my student loans, like the title says. I have 2 associate degrees. I went to college the first time around after I graduated high school. I went to a community college, got my 2-year degree in veterinary technology, worked as a registered vet tech for a few years, and decided I wanted to go back to school for another associate's degree to get my ultrasound degree. Again, community college, and graduated in 2012 with my ultrasound degree, and that's what I do now. Now, the first time I went through college, obviously, I have not always been as financially responsible as I am today. And I took out as much student loans as I could, just because I could, because everybody has student loans. That's a normal thing. I'll worry about repaying it later. Sure, I'll repay it later when I graduate and I make a lot of money. FYI, veterinary technology, veterinary technicians, they don't make a lot of money. It sounded like a lot of money to me though, you know, as a young person, but anyway. So I think, it's been so long ago now that I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think I took out about 4 private student loans. And when I graduated, I decided that it would be easier for me if I just consolidated them all into one payment, because I wouldn't have 4 different bills coming in the month. So I went to Wells Fargo and I consolidated them into one. And I believe the total amount was somewhere around $35,000. Yes, actually, it was close to $35,000. I'm actually looking at the numbers on this. That lets me know what it was when I started re-entering payment. So yeah, about $35,000. And I got Wells Fargo to consolidate them all together, and they gave me a fixed interest rate of 10.29. Not a great interest rate, but, you know, I was young and didn't have a whole lot of credit back then. Also, I told them that I wanted the payments as low as possible so that I could afford to go and get my new car when I graduated college, because, you know, you're also supposed to do that, right? This was the old car I had. Anyway, so I've consolidated my student loans in 2006. Also, I took advantage of the deferred payments after you graduate. I deferred and worried about paying later because I wanted to find a job and make sure that I had income. And so yeah, I had these huge amount of loans that I was trying to get by paying as little as possible, and took advantage of all the deferments that I possibly could for them. So, and I didn't know at the time that when you do that, you are accruing interest on these loans, and the interest is just building and building and building. So big mistake on my part, but I didn't know, and now I do, but I'm stuck paying for those earlier mistakes. So I've been paying on these loans for 13 years now. I have a $340 payment every month, and this sheet of paper that they put in every statement I get tells me what, you know, the last payment, how much went to principal, how much went to interest. But I keep track of that anyway on my own budget. And just for an example, last month, $340 payment, $87.78 went to principal, $252.22 went to interest. It's ridiculous how much goes to interest on these loans. Sorry, the sun's like trying to blind me now because it's setting. Anyway, I'll just deal with it. So, but the thing that really sickens me about my student loans, every month I don't look at this sheet because I just hate looking at these numbers. But it has a section on here that tells me the totals paid on loans since entering repayment or converting to Wells Fargo. So this was sometime back in 2006 when I started paying on these. It's been 13 years. And how much principal have I paid off from that approximately $35,000? I have only paid off $7,231.11. How much interest have I paid in 13 years? $19,030.27. Holy shit. That is a lot of money. And I mean, my principal balance right now is $27,000. If I had $19,000 laying around, I could have just put that on the principal. And because I'm an extra glutton for punishment, I decided to look at how much $19,030.27 is compounded over 13 years at a 7% interest rate, just putting it in there and leaving it alone and ignoring it. If I'd have had that $19,000 and invested it instead for the last 13 years, I would have $45,860. Wow. This is the difference between wealthy people and people who just kind of skate by in life, making their payments and don't bother to look at the details or educate themselves about personal finance. People who are wealthy gain interest. People who aren't pay interest to the banks. And, I mean, this is sickening. Show this to your kids. First of all, try to get through college without taking out student loans. I didn't even really need to take these student loans out in the first place. I just wanted to because it made life easier at the time. And I was lazy. I mean, I went to community colleges both times. And it's a 2-year degree. You know, how much student loans did I really need to take out? At least I wisened up a little bit the second time around. When I went to ultrasound school, I did keep working as a vet tech for as long as I could. So, you know, there's that. But still, this is also why I am not a fan, or well, when it comes to me, you hear people say all the time, talking about debt repayment, they say to go with either the debt snowball or the avalanche. Do whatever, you know, whichever one makes most sense to you, and stick with it and don't jump back and forth. This is why I am jumping back and forth. Yes, I understand getting the mental wins really helps with the snowball method, and I took advantage of that. When I first started paying back all of my consumer debts, I had 7 different debts, and some of those were credit cards, and they had smaller balances on them compared to everything else I had. So yes, I paid those back first, and that was snowball method, and it did mentally help to, you know, get those wins and everything. So I got those credit cards paid off, and that was a good quick win, and I understand, you know, that's the good thing about the snowball method. But these next 2 debts that I'm working on, y'all know they're 0% interest for a time. I only have until July to pay off the one and October to pay off the other. Otherwise, they're going to charge me back interest. So I kind of have to work on those next, and that's what I'm doing right now. But when I get to my last 2 debts, the last 2 debts that I have are student loans and this car that I'm in. And these student loans, you know, the interest is 10.29%. The car is about 5%. And this is why it is important to pay attention to your interest rate. Don't just blindly use the snowball method and, you know, not actually look at what you're doing. This is going to save me a lot of money to pay off the student loans first rather than the car loan, because the car loan has less principal balance that I owe, but it's fairly close to the student loan. So when you have a situation like that, you've got 2 loans, you know, and they're just about the same principal balance, take a look at the interest rate. It's okay to switch to the avalanche method halfway through your debt payment if you want to. That is what I'm going to do, and it will save me a lot of money. I think I owe about $22,000 on the car, and the principal balance on the student loans is $27,000. So if I was just doing the snowball method and not really, you know, considering anything else, then, you know, I should pay the car off first. But look at how much money every month is going to interest on these stupid student loans. So for that reason, I am going to pay the student loans off first before the car. So technically I have done the snowball method when I first started paying off my debts, and I am going to switch to the avalanche towards the end, and I think that's okay. I think you just need to take a look at your individual situation. Every single one of us is different on our journeys to becoming debt-free and to gaining financial independence. So there just isn't a one-size-fits-all plan. Yes, you can follow the Dave Ramsey plan and you'll have success. I'm not saying that you should completely ignore it by any means. You know, if you're wanting to get yourself in a better financial situation, then yes, the baby steps, they'll get you there. I'm just saying, be smart about it along the way. Be open to other ways of thinking and realize that your journey is going to be a little bit different than the next person. So, yeah, with all of that said, show this to your kids. This is, if I didn't have these student loans, I would be so much farther ahead today than where I am. You know, the student loans, it's just awful that personal finance is not taught in our schools. And I did all of this without really knowing what I was doing and the true opportunity cost of the situation. You know, if I had understood this fully, I definitely would have rethought my goals. When you're young and you don't really know all of the ins and outs, you just do what everyone else is doing, and everyone else is drowning in student loan debt. So anyway, I'm going to hit the road now and head on into work. I will post I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, probably sometime this weekend. Maybe I'll post it tonight. Who knows if I get squirrely. But yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video. As always, thank you for watching, and I'd appreciate it if you would give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.